Our journey today will trace its thousand-year path, covering its genesis, spread from the court of Yuan Emperor Kublai Khan to the visionary leadership of His Royal Highness, the present Druk Gyalpo. I will further unveil its radical philosophy, a blueprint for transforming our inner world, our external reality, and our collective consciousness into a mandala of peace and happiness. At the outset, I must first clarify what Dutch Tantra means. Tantra is not mere mantras and rituals and prayers. Tantra at deeper level means a system of knowledge-based practices which can be applied to bring transformation. For example, we have Sarkari Tantra. So this is a system of practices for governance. So Tantra is the set of knowledge. The Kalachakra Tantra is not merely a religious text. It is the highest synthesis of Nalanda tradition of knowledge. It is the capsule of Nalanda tradition versified in the rarest meter of Sanskrit poetry, Shrakdhara, discussing mathematics, astronomy, linguistics, alchemy, technology, contemplative neuroscience, aroma science, astrology, architecture, communications, science of death, thanatology, and so on. Its scope is universal, and its ambition is nothing less than the liberation of all beings in the age of conflict and confusion, that is the Kali Yuga. The importance of Kalachakra Tantra in Vajrayana tradition can be gleaned from the fact that both the text and the first commentary, Vimal Prabha, has been listed in Kanjur as well as Tanjur. And as you are aware that Kanjur contains only words of Buddha and Tanjur that of words of the other Indian Panditas. But both Kalachakra as well as Vimal Prabha, the commentary, these are part of both Kanjur and Tanjur. That shows the importance to this text among Himalayan Buddhism and Vajrayana. The literal meaning of Kalachakra is the wheel of time. Its historical journey mirrors this turning through the centuries and across empires. The traditional account, though, mentions that this Tantra was revealed by Shakyamuni Buddha during third turning of wheel at Dhanakatak to the first Dharma king Suchandra from Shambhala. Now, during 1930s, one George Rerich, a Russian Tibetologist, while translating the text of Golochavar, that Blue Annals, he wrote in the footnote and he said that Dhan Katak is none other than Amravati. And he did not explore much, but now this confusion has spread everywhere that Dhan Katak is present day Amravati. Now, there is prophecy about the last Kalki king in this Tantra. The last Kalki king will be the Rod Kalki. Rod is wrathful Kalki. He will appear at the end of Kali Yuga and establish a pure land on earth, a Shambhala, a peaceful terrestrial place with material abundance and pure joy. Now, I will come to the formative stage of the Tantra. Even though traditional account mention that it was revealed by Shakyamuni Buddha to Suchandra at Dhanakatak, but historically that doesn't, on scrutiny, it doesn't come out to be correct. And this text is a historical text. So we should keep it in mind that this is a historical text. This text was composed in the first half of the 11th century. I have established in my long 225-page introduction to the first volume of my pentalogy that traditional account of the Tantra having been taught is not correct, and it could have been composed only after 1025 AD. The text mentions about Baghdad at one place and Makkah at two places, and Rahman, that is religion of Islam, Rahman, at one place. So that means this text came only after the advent of Islam. Now, Baghdad itself was founded on 30th July 762 AD by Caliph al-Mansur. Thus, the text could not have been written before 8th century. Further, the great translator Rinchen Jangpo, who came to Ladakh and other places in Himachal. So, he came during late 10th century after 980 and later than that, but he was not aware about this king of Tantra. Another great translator, Tanpal, he was the last translator who went to China after a gap of 182 years in 980 AD. So Danpal, and he translated mainly Tantra texts. So he translated almost 111 texts, but Kalachakra Tantra is not there in that list. So by 10, 14, 15 AD, when this Danpal was active in China, this text was not written. Now, coming to another historical personality, Al-Biruni. He was one of the greatest astronomer and polymath whom UNESCO and everyone celebrates his contribution to human civilization. He wrote his classic Kitabul Hind here in India in 1031 AD. And in the beginning of the text, he is establishing correspondence with 10 different calendars. And some of the calendars are as far as from Persia and other places. Even he is mentioning about a calendar based on a text which was Karan Sar, which was composed in 966 AD. But out of those calendars, Kalachakra Tantra had not been mentioned, with Tibetan historians glorify as having been introduced in Tibet in 1027 AD. So the best likelihood is that the Kalachakra Tantra was not composed by the time Al-Biruni started writing the encyclopedic work on India. Now, the 27th slok of the first chapter of the Tantra itself mentions the start of the composition of the text. There is a word, they have mentioned Vahni Kha Abdhav. So this comes out to be 403 years. I will explain how. So this is that after the Malaysia calendar, Hijri calendar of Islam, so you just count 403 years, and then the writing of this text started. So, and second thing is that was also the year of Prabhav. Prabhav, we have 60-year cycle of Jupiter, Samvatsar cycle, and the first year is known as Prabhav. So now you have to find when was the Prabhav year after 403 years of the Islamic calendar. So that comes out to be 1027 AD. So rather than just adding 403 to 622 AD when the Islamic calendar came, we have to put not 1025 but 1027 AD, because this is also a Prabhav year. So it is written in the Tantra, it is Prabhav Mukate, that word. So here how to read, because it's a coded text, how to read the numbers. So here they have followed Bhut Sankhya numeral system. Words represent numeral. Now the word was Vahni Kha Abdhav. Vahni is fire, and there are 3 fires. So this represents number 3. Then Kha is emptiness, it represents 0. And Abdi ocean, it represents number 4. So reading will be 304. Now you have to read it in reverse. Then it becomes 304, becomes 403. So this is how the whole calculation in the Kalachakra Tantra has been made. So they follow Bhut Sankhya numeral system. So now when we add 403 and we come out, come at the figure of 1025, plus then again 2 years issue is there, because that was not the Prabhav year. So this is 1027 AD when the composition of Tantra started, and this year has also been calculated by some of the great astronomers of our times, Edward Henning and Yukio Ohashi from Japan. But sadly both of them have passed away. So now, apart from this fixing up the date of composition, there is another date mentioned in the Tantra, that is of the epoch. So what is this epoch? So it's a point at which you do the measurement of the planetary positions, and from that point, that the Dhruvak, you calculate on the basis of the motion, mean motion of planets, what is the position of planets as of now. So that point is called epoch. So the verse 27 of the first chapter itself gives another number for this epoch, that is Kar Phani Sasina. Again it's in Bhut Sankhya. Kar is number 2 hands, we have 2 hands. Phani is Naga, number 8, and Sasi is moon, there is only 1 moon. So this is basically number 281, but then you have to read it in reverse, it becomes 182. So it said that you add 182 in the Hijri calendar, and this comes out to be 6806 AD rather than 804, because we have seen that 2-year discrepancy. So this was chosen as epoch. Exact epoch date of Kalachakra Tantra has been calculated at 23rd March 806 AD. The planetary position of this date is mentioned in the very first chapter of the Tantra. Now the method of computing planetary position, I just discussed from the Drupak we can do it. The question is, why was the year 806 AD chosen at the Drupak point? This must have been a significant event in the history of Tantric Buddhism. That brings to the fore possibility of this being the time of transformation of Guru Padmasambhav into an eternal rainbow body. As it is well known how King Trisong Descent of Tibet, he invited Sant Rakshit and later Padmasambhav to Tibet, and Guru Padmasambhav helped build the first monastery of Tibet at Samye during 775 to 779 AD. Guru traveled to Bhutan later on. He also healed the king of Bumthang in central Bhutan, and he meditated at Burning Lake in Bumthang, then at Paro Taksang, at Singye Jongkin Lunse. So he is said to have later spent time even to Kamrup Hajo near Gauhati, very close to Bhutan. So he was the iconic figure in Buddhist history during late 8th and early 9th century. The epoch year 806 AD falls in his active life frame when his legacy absolutely dominated this period. Further hint is given in the Vimal Prabha commentary. See, the text Kalachakra, so a commentary by Kalki Pundik, second Kalki, was written during the composer's time only. So it was also written between 1037 and 1040 AD. So that dating I have done in my book. So this Vimal Prabha commentary mentions a term. It says that Aj Kalki Kal Varsam Tadev Larghu Karne Vals Pindam Iti. So that is called Kal Vals of the Aj Kalki. That very thing is the Vals Pind addition of year in the Laghu Karan system. Now Aj Kalki, Aj in Sanskrit means goat. So many Western commentators say that there are multi-layered interpretations there and very coded. So the esoteric meaning, if you take it from Aj, A plus Ja is birth, Janma, and A is not, unborn. So Aj is also unborn. So who is the unborn saint in Buddhist history? It's Guru Padmasambhav. He was discovered as an 8-year boy atop lotus flower by Bengal's king Indra Bhuti in Dhanakos lake. The phrase can be interpreted as the year of disappearance. Kal is also death and disappearance. So Aj Kalki Kal Varsam. Year of disappearance of the unborn. That very year is the epoch year in the short computations. So year 806 is the year of rainbow body transformation of Guru Padmasambhav. Now, Guru Padmasambhav, he was also a great engineer. So he ended doubts, he built canals, he built Samya monastery, and he was also engineer of channels within body. And that is how he could transmute into rainbow body. So the epoch year in the Kalachakra Tantra serves as a historical marker and a timeless symbolic tribute to this unborn Guru Padmasambhav. Also, the ultimate bodily realization often cited in Kalachakra Tantra is that of rainbow body only, which is identified with Guru Padmasambhav. Now, I am coming to the authorship of Naropa. So, if it was not revealed by Sakya Muni Buddha to Suchandra, then who is the actual author of the text? So, I have pinpointed the authorship with great Naropa, the Mahasiddha, who was also known as Nadpad. So Nada is the highest stage in Kalachakra realization. That is the 16th the tattva of the that 16th tattva realization, and he is the only siddha who is known by that name, someone who has attained the stage of Nad. So it was he actually who he might have learned Kalachakra system from his masters like Tilopa and others, but it was he who put it in writing, which is available to us. All the traditions of the Kalachakra Tantra, like 17 traditions have been mentioned in the Tibetan history. So they emanate directly or indirectly from Naropa. There have been two major traditions of the Kalachakra transmission in Tibet, Roa and Do. And Roa tradition was introduced by Nepalese scholar Samant Sri through Roa Lochawa, and Do was introduced by Kashmiri Pandit Somnath through Do Lochawa. Now both Somnath and Samant Sri were disciples of Naropa's disciple. Then Gijo, who did first translation in Tibetan as per Bhutan's history of Buddhism history of Kalachakra in Tibet. So he too, Gijo too had his lineage tracing back to Naropa. Then another master, Abhyakar Gupta, who wrote a lot on, about Kalachakra Mandala, in Nispanne Yogavali, he wrote Vajravali, and so many texts, Kalachakra Ganit Uptes. So he has composed a lot of texts on Kalachakra. So Abhyakar Gupta himself from Vikramshila Monastery, he was disciple of one of the disciples of Naropa. So then another tradition starts from Sami Lochawa. He was a Tangut monk, and he the only monk who became abbot of Bodh Gaya in 12th century. See, that was the cosmopolitan nature of Buddhist universe at that time. So Sami Lochawa, he was also a great Kalachakra master, and his lineage also that continued back to Naropa. Then we have Atish Dipankar, the disciple of, he was also a disciple of Naropa, whom I believe the first one to actually take the teachings to Tibet. Now, coming back to the propagation of Kalachakra Tantra across Asia, we all know that Dipankar Atish, he also went to Tibet, but and established new line of transmission, but that might be oral. Before going to Tibet, he spent time in Southeast Asia to learn the yoga of Bodhicitta from one Dharmpal. And see, in Java at that time, Adi Buddha cult was very popular from 8th century AD. And the Kalachakra also talks about basically Adi Buddha. It's part of Adi Buddha transmission line. So, and the Kalachakra is also yoga of Bodhicitta. And Dipankar Atish is going to Java to learn the yoga of Bodhicitta from Pindu Acharya. He traveled to Muara Jampi in Sumatra, is where he called it. And Atisha mentions in his Bodhipat Pradeep that he learned Adi Buddha Tantra in Java. Then the concept of Adi Buddha from 8th century onwards, it also came to Nepal, Kathmandu, that Shambhunath. So all these are part of Adi Buddha the tradition only. And this tradition arose after emergence of Manjushri Moolkalp Tantra. And Manjushri, who was merely a bodhisattva, now he was elevated as a Gyan Sattva, gnosis being, and he became synonymous with non-dual knowledge. His cult spread in not only India, Nepal, Java, but also in China. And as we are aware that 5 terrace mountain Utai San is abode of Manjushri in China. Much of the Kalachakra Tantra is indebted for its philosophy to this text and its section, Nam Sangiti. Manjushri represents 3 things: wisdom, compassion, and power. He holds the book of Pragya Paramita and a flaming sword known as Chandrahas. The conception of Kalkin Kalachakra Tantra is clearly adopted from Manjushri, which focus on all 3: wisdom, compassion, and also power. In fact, the first Kalki king, Yas, who abridged the Kalachakra Tantra, is proclaimed as Manjushri Yas. Pundrik mentions in every chapter of his commentary Vimal Prabha that it has been inspired by Manjushri. The Kalachakra Mandal itself borrows heavily from Dharm Dhatu Vagishwar Mandal of Manjushri. Now let us come to its spread in Tibet, because from India, how it went to the Mongol court. So Atisa, having learned Adi Buddha and Kalachakra Tantra from masters in Java as well as from Naropa, he preached Kalachakra Tantra in Tibet. But who was the recipient? That had not been fully explored. I have indicated it was the Bodong master Mudrapa Chenpo. In Sanskrit, that will be known as Mahamudra. And Mahamudra is a great seal. Maha is great and Mudra is also sealing. So it's a great seal in the Kalachakra tradition. In fact, the last empowerment is of Mahamudra empowerment only in Kalachakra tradition. So the epithet of the founder of the Bodong sect is Mahamudra, and he was active in Tibet during Atisa's time. Mudra Chenpo founded Bodong Monastery in 1049 AD while Atisa was still alive. The Bodong Monastery also became authentic repository of the Kalachakra teachings. In the 12th century, Bodong teacher Kortak Sonam Kelsen, he invited Kalachakra master Vibhuti Chandra to Tibet. And Vibhuti Chandra, along with Sakyasri Bhadra and Dan Sila, they had to flee from Vikramshila after Turkish invasion. So Vibhuti Chandra then went to this Bodong monastery and he taught Kalachakra to the the Bodong monks. So, in the year 1204 AD, because Sakasri Bhadra, he was also from Kashmir. Now, they fled from Vikramshila and they came to Nepal. So, here Sakasri Bhadra met Sakya Pandita, the head of Sakya monastery, who is credited with introducing Buddhism in Mongol court of Godan Khan. Later, Sakya Pandita became a state preceptor of Yuan emperor. He was succeeded by his nephew Pakpa. We all are aware how he was accompanied by that 10-year nephew. And in Kublai Khan court, another Sakya monk, Sangtan Lochawa Dolje Gyaltsen. So he was also present, and this Dolje Gyaltsen, he received Kalachakra initiation from one Golungpa in 1265 AD. Pakpa directed this Dolje Gyaltsen and another companion, Sultan Pal, to go to Nepal to bring proper texts of Kalachakra Tantra, and then both went up to central India and they brought some texts and compared the Sanskrit texts with the Tibetan translations. Later, they also went to Bodh Gaya and learned Kalachakra from Indian master Lakshmikara. Later, Songten Dolje Gyaltsen, he met Orgenpa, who was the Drukpa master in 1282-80, and it was Orgenpa who taught Kalachakra to Dolje Gyaltsen. But finally, it was Orgenpa Rinchen Pal who popularized Kalachakra in the Mongol court. So it was a Drukpa who carried Kalachakra to Mongol court at final stage. So now we come to the Mongol court in now that Inner Mongolia, that is part of present China. So when Kublai, and see the importance of Kalachakra in the Mongol court. When Kublai Khan died in 1294, the Queen Kokochin and her son, they sponsored a woodblock printing of the Kalachakra Tantra in Uchen script under guidance of Orgenpa. That woodblock printing is still available, it survived, it is in the archives in Lhasa and other places. Mongol Empire later collapsed in 1368 AD. Now the first emperor of New Ming Empire, he sent one Sungle mission comprising of 30 members to Magda from 1378 to 1382 AD. When the third Ming Emperor Jongal, he came into power in 1406, I suppose, he showed keen interest in holding tantric rituals. It is at that time that Sariputra, here is his image. This is not that Sariputra who was the companion of Shakyamuni Buddha. It's 15th century Sariputra, who was the abbot of Bodh Gaya. He was invited by the Chinese Ming court there. And Sariputra was a great Kalachakra master. As 5th Dalai Lama mentions in his work on history of Tibet, that the first Tai Situpa, he was taught Kalachakra Tantra by Sariputra. Sariputra served 3 Ming emperors, Jongal, his son and his grandson. And it was Sariputra who consecrated the great hall of supreme harmony, the Fengtian hall in the Forbidden City. So basically he was invited by the Ming emperor to consecrate the construction of Forbidden City. Though the Forbidden City was inaugurated only later on 2nd February 1421 AD, coinciding with the Chinese New Year. I have done a lot of work on finding the trace of Sariputra and his connection with consecrating the Forbidden City. So we can see even in the early 15th century, there are Kalachakra masters available in Magda. So in the later half, even in the latter half of the 15th century, Van Ratna, another monk from Eastern Bengal, he went to Magda and then proceeded to Nepal, and he went 3 times to Tibet, and he reinvigorated the region with Kalachakra teachings. Van Ratna was also the teacher of Go Lochawa, the author of Blue Annals, and he also gave initiation of Kalachakra to Go Lochawa, which Go Lochawa mentioned in his Blue Annals. So during the same time, when monks are still going, masters are still going to Tibet and China, taking Kalachakra Tantra in 15th century, at the same time even manuscripts are being ascribed in Magda. So there is one manuscript from which is kept with Cambridge University Library. It was copied and the date is given 9th August 1447. So this is a Sanskrit manuscript. I have worked on this manuscript only. Then at the same time there were also not only Kalachakra, other manuscripts like that of Bodhicharya Avatar kept in the Asiatic Society, which is dated February 21, 1436, and again it was copied in Nalanda. So that means Magadha remained an active center even in the latter half of the 15th century. So this is, but thereafter, if you see when Taranath, the great Jonang master, so even he was initiated, given initiation by one Budgupnath, and who traveled to Magda and all these things. And uh, uh, so what happens after late 15th century, that things disappear from Magda and India. So how it happened? Actually, by that time in India, the patronage of rulers to Buddhist monasteries that had ended after the advent of Delhi Sultanate. But the concept which Kalachakra propounded of the Sahaj body, innate body, natural body, Samras, etc. was adopted first by Sahajiya Buddhists and later by Sahajiya Vaishnavas being led by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So, see, many of the concepts of Kalachakra philosophy that itself, that seep into the Bhakti movement. Balls of Bengal have actively carried the tradition of wearing multicolored patches stitched together as garment, and inspiration from clearly that leads to Kalachakra philosophy, because it's Kalachakra which teaches about holding together rainbow colors. But whereas in India it pervaded Bhakti movement and disappeared from the surface, it made a strong foothold in Tibet and Mongolia. Now, we are just coming to two main Tibetan masters. So, both emerged during 14th century. One was Bhutan and then Jonang master Dolpopa. So, Dolpopa became famous because of like initiating. And what Bhutan did, he united the two major traditions of Kalachakra Tantra, and that he passed on to other people, and that tradition crept up into the Geluk yellow hat sect. But I'm more interested into the Jonang master Dolpapa, because it is said that Jonangs carry the authentic teachings of Kalachakra even now. So, in 1322, Dolpopa received the complete transmission of the Kalachakra Tantra from one Yonten Gyatso. It is Dolpopa who is credited with even conducting first public initiation of Kalachakra at Topfu Jong in central Tibet, U region, around 1359. It was not planned by him. He was 67 years and quite plump, and he could not climb uphill to the monastery. So what happened? His stage was erected at the foothills only. Thousands of people gathered because he was so popular, and this is how the first public ceremony of Kalachakra empowerment came into existence. The date can be noted, it is 1359 AD. Now, disciple of Bhutan like De Jokki Pel, he transmitted the lineage to Tsongkhapa, the founder of Geluk sect. Tsongkhapa also wrote something on Kalachakra Tantra. But his disciple, the first Panchen Lama, Ghedubje, he was a great scholar and he wrote 4-volume commentary on Kalachakra Tantra. And but both the first Panchen Lama and first Dalai Lama, both were taught by one Bodong master. So we have been discussing that how Bodong monastery became center of Kalachakra transmission in Tibet. So their master of both first Dalai Lama and first Panchen Lama, it was Bodong Panchen Chokle Namgyal. As I have narrated about this Bodong monastery, this is located in Tasigang region, 90 kilometers west of Sigarche. So this Bodong Panchen, he attracted very huge followings, including famous female saint Chokki Donma, whom he identified as an emanation of Dolje Phagmo Vajvarahi. She was recognized as Tibet's first female Tulku, and the lineage continues. Presently, the 12th Samding Dolje Fagmore. She lives in on bank of Yandok Lake. Her monastery is there, and this lake is associated with signs of reincarnation of High Lama, both Panchen Lama and Dalai Lama. So this Podong Panchen's contribution is immense. We got 117 texts which have been recorded by Central Institute of Higher Tibetan Studies, Sarnath, composed by Tibetan masters. So majority of those are by this Bodong master Chokle Namgyal. Now, the third Dalai Lama, Sonam Gyatso, who met the Mongol leader Altan Khan. So he founded Namgyal Monastery in the year 1575 AD. It was at this time that Altan Khan met the third Dalai Lama. Maybe there were a lot of political reasons. There's something some other time we can discuss about that. On the bank of Lake Kokonur in Chinkai in 1578. And though third Dalai Lama did not confer Kalachakra initiation to Altan Khan, but the record suggests that when he went to Inner Mongolia, so he did teach Kalachakra Tantra to many of the Kalka princes. So, but however, fifth Dalai Lama, when he came to power and he united 3 provinces of Tibet, so but he destroyed all the Jonang monasteries and regarded them as heretics for their Sentong view of reality. What is this Sentong view? Because that crops up in Kalachakra discussion, Sentong versus Rentong. So Jonangpa considers that there is a luminous substratum of reality, the Vajra Dhatu, Tathakat Garb, and that it can be experienced by following the completion stage. In Kalachakra, there are 2 level of yoga. One is generation, like utpatti, and then completion, utpanna, when it's already it has origin. So the Jonangpa follow both tradition. Others don't follow both tradition. So what happened? The yellow hat people, they considered Rentong, so extreme view of reality. For them, there is everything is sunya, so there cannot be any Vajra Dhatu which can be experienced. But Sentong said, no, it can be experienced. Everything outside itself, it is empty of swabhav of others, but it has its own swabhav. So because of that debate, fifth Dalai Lama banned the Jonang sect, and you will be surprised to know that ban was removed, lifted only in the year 2011 AD. By the current Dalai Lama. So, and all the texts of Kalachakra Tantra from different monasteries, those were, collected and those were locked in a monastery. I have got the detail of that temple also, Nechu temple at Depung Monastery. So, luckily in 2004, when from a box, these 317 different texts of Kalachakra Tantra written by Tibetan masters. So these have been discovered by one Tibetalogist, Serap Sangpo, and the whole catalog too has been published in there. I have got that detail, but it's in Tibetan, so I don't know Tibetan. I'm not able to fathom how that list is different than 117 lists which we have at Sarnath. So, but I think Bhutanese scholars can work over the 2 lists. Now, the 7th Dalai Lama, Kelyang Gyatso, he opted for Kalachakra as his main practice. He composed full-length Kalachakra sadhana, and it was introduced in the Namgyal Monastery, which was founded by 3rd Dalai Lama. 7th Dalai Lama, who began providing Kalachakra initiations in public to large communities, and after his death in 1757 AD, what happened? The 6th Panchen Lama, it's a very checkered history. 6th Panchen Lama was also very political. But he was asked by one Changya Kutuktu, and who was very close to the Chinese Emperor Qianlong, because both they studied together. So he advised 6th Panchen Lama that now you take Kalachakra thing into your hand, and you should organize a public empowerment on Kalachakra for the departed 7th Dalai Lama. So this was organized in Kham, but then 6th Panchen Lama, he became a Kalachakra master after this thing. And when he was visiting Beijing for the celebration of the birthday of the Chinese emperor, Qing emperor Qianlong, so he gave him Kalachakra initiation in the year 1780. It's another matter that only after a couple of months he passed away, 6th Panchen Lama, because he contracted this smallpox there. But the Emperor Qianlong remains the only Chinese emperor to be formally initiated into Kalachakra Tantra. Now, let us discuss about its provocation in the modern period. The first modern attempt to, talk about Kalachakra Tantra was by father of Tiptology, Hungarian scholar Alexander Chomati Korosi. But he created a lot of confusion, because if you see his essay on Kalachakra and Adi Buddha in I think 1823 essay, so he is saying that Shambhala lies between 45 and 50 north latitude. But how? He is not explaining. He is just saying, just like George Redick is saying, Dan Kartak is Amravati in a footnote, and then everyone picks up, oh yes, it is. So this confusion of Shambhala being in north, in Siberia, in Gobi, that is coming from this essay of Korosi. So then the founder of Theosophy movement, Helena Blavatsky, she went a step further and she declared Shambhala in the Gobi desert. She writes in Secret Doctrine in all her writing, if you see. So she has been mentioning that Gobi desert, you can find Shambhala at this particular latitude, longitude. So, and in Mongolia itself, there was one Danjan Rauja. So these days, he was a Nyingma master, not to say monk. He was a scholar. He wrote drama, composed poetry, and he was a great architect, a builder. So Danjan Rauja, so what he did, he started promoting this Kalachakra thing, just parallel with Soma the Korosi, that Gobi, Shambhala is here in Gobi desert. And one monastery, Khamlin Khid, that was established in the year 1818 as Shambhala center. And nowadays, you will see a lot of tourist, circus being developed around this Shambhala of the Gobi desert. So in the beginning of 20th century, a Buryat Mongolian Lama, Agwan Dorjiev, he received Kalachakra initiation from the 9th Panchen Lama. And then he convinced 13th Dalai Lama, because 13th Dalai Lama did not believe much in Kalachakra Tantra, but he convinced him that, see, what we can do, we can tell Tsar Nicholas of Russia that you are the Kalki, but make him white Kalki and his empire, as Shambhala. So he convinced them. Then 13th Dalai Lama, he sent many, there were a lot of secret correspondences, and he was carrying all these things there and tried to convince Tsar Nicholas that you are our white Kalki and we all want to unite under him. So then he said, okay, you build a temple. So Kalachakra temple was built in St. Petersburg from 1909 to 1915. And you know what happened? Immediately after that, this Tsar Nicholas was removed by the Soviet revolution, and then this later 9th Panchen Lama, it was the 13th Dalai Lama and the Buryat Mongol Lama. But later what happened, 9th Panchen Lama had a conflict with 13th Dalai Lama. So then he fled to China proper. And then the Kuomintang were in power, so they said, let us use him, because by that time in outer Mongolia already this communism has come in 1924, and monks were being, they were being expelled from there, and so there was a lot of conflict between communism and religion. So a lot of Mongols were coming into inner Mongolia. So Kuomintangs were scared that maybe there may be some unrest in their inner Mongolia. So they wanted to, mobilize those who were coming from there and just bring some optimism through Kalachakra, through this 9 Panchen Lama. So 9 Panchen Lama were not kept in Uttaraishan or Beijing, he was sent to Inner Mongolia. And there he conducted the first Kalachakra, he conducted 9th public Kalachakra empowerments in China. So he conducted the first one in 1928 between 15 to 22nd April. It was 8-day empowerment at Jarsu Monastery under Koram Banal Jerim League, and one Prince Darhan, he was the patron of this event. And finally Panchen Lama is coming to Beijing and Forbidden City. So in Forbidden City in 1932, another huge Kalachakra public empowerment was organized, and there were almost 1 lakh people attending that in Forbidden City in the middle of Beijing. Later in 1934, he was taken to Hangzhou also, and there he conducted, and around 67,000 people they attended the ceremony. And the advisor to the president, Tai Jitao, he gave the slogan, because he was one of the main organizers in Beijing and Hangzhou. So he gave the slogan, only mantras will save the nation, not bulleted in mantras who will save the nation. So if you go to that part of Chinese history, how like they were so much enabled by Panchen Lama's magical power and Kalachakra, so it's very interesting. Now, inspired by Blavatsky and other theosophists' work, Nicholas Roerich, that Russian Tibetologist, he undertook several Central Asian expeditions and wrote the book Shambhala in 1930. He started creating another confusion. This Shambhala is not in Gobi, it is in Central Asia. He became an ardent follower of Kalachakra philosophy, and he tried to even involve Nadia Krupskaya, widow of Vladimir Lenin, and later US Secretary of Agriculture Henry Wallace, in his vision of Shambhala. Currently, 14th Dalai Lama was initiated in Kalachakra by 6 exile in India. Here there was a long lull. Then the first Kalachakra ceremony, public ceremony, we are talking because tantras are not public. So it was in India, it was given in Dharamshala in 1970. Outside Asia, the first public ceremony was made in Wisconsin in 1981. He has conferred a total of 34 public initiations, and the last one which he conducted was in January 2017 in Bodh Gaya. So he was supposed to conduct the next one in Amravati. 5-6 years, so Amravati plan it not, because they thought ki Than Katak is Amravati, so let us go to Amravati. But historically that is not correct. So even Amravati, you see, that had not fructified. Now in China, there is sudden interest in Kalachakra public ceremony. So one abbot of Lavrang Monastery, so he's also tutor of 11th Panchen Lama. He conferred a Kalachakra initiation in 2015. Then in July 2016, 11th Panchen Lama conducted Kalachakra ceremony in Tibet proper, because the 2015 thing that happened in Amdo, that is not Tibet proper. So, but in Tibet proper, in the Potala Paris area, this was, no, not Potala, it was at Tasi Lumpo in Sigarse, Panchen Lama. This was organized in 2016, and this was done by almost a gap of 60 years by any high Lama like Panchen Lama or Dalai Lama. Then again next year, Panchen Lama, he held Kalachakra ceremony in Loka region, and in September 2023, Gumthang Rinpoche, abbot of Lavrang Monastery, he conducted a huge public empowerment ceremony, and it is said that almost 4 lakh people attended the ceremony. So now coming to its dissemination in Bhutan. So as we all are aware, I have to learn about Bhutan from you only. So after His Holiness Sabdung Namgyal, one of the 2 reincarnations of the 4th Drukchen, he conquered and unified the country and gave the name of the land to Drukyul. asserting the spiritual supremacy of the Drukpaj here in this region. And as I have already discussed, that Drukpaj initially spread Kalachakra teaching to Mongolia and abroad under Orgenpa. So the authentic teachings of Mahasiddha Naropa, who is the composer of Kalachakra Tantra, has flourished in Bhutan and continues to flourish here due to the royal patronage given by successive royal highnesses. The present Bhutanese calendar system, known as Dendui Thunmong, which has 1 day difference from Pukluk tradition. It was introduced by the scholar Lawang Lodo, disciple of 4th Drukchen, and this is rooted in the Kalachakra commentary by 4th Drukchen. So, third Duk Gyalpo, His Royal Highness Jigme Wangchuk, he ordered that as followers of Drukpa lineage, this astrological system should be followed as the official calendrical system of the Kingdom of Bhutan. Presently, His Holiness 70th Jek Khenpo, he himself is a great Kalachakra master. Under the patronage of His Royal Highness the present Duk Gyalpo and led by His Holiness Jek Khenpo, Bhutan will soon host its first public Kalachakra empowerment for global peace, prosperity and happiness in coming November. This is not an isolated event, but part of a sustained commitment as seen in the ongoing Vajrayana conferences which is hosted in this very building. Fifth one held just this June, and ensuring that this ancient wisdom engages with the modern world. Now let us have a look at the structure and philosophy of this king of Tantra and how it enables the kings worldwide. So see, the original text is said to run into 12,000 verses, and that is called Mool Tantra, and it is in Anustup meter. Anustup meter has only 32 letters, not letters, alphabets in 8 multiplied by 4 lines. And Kalachakra has been composed in the present Shrakdhara meter. So there are 84 syllables, 21 in each line. So original Tantra was composed in 12,000 verses in Anustup meter of 32 syllables, upon which King Suchand composed a 60,000 verse commentary. Original text, Mool Tantra, thus contained, if you multiply by 12,000 multiply by 32, a number comes 3,84,000 syllables. This is very interesting. This puts the Tantra as a composition for universal world mother Vishwamata. Why? Because 384 is the number of Vishwamata in Kalachakra. So 1125, these numbers are very important. 1125 is the number for Kalachakra and 384 is the number for Vishwamata. So that means the original Mool Tantra that was composed for Vishwamata. So though the Mool Tantra is no longer available, the excerpts are found in Vimal Prabha, the commentary by second Kalki Pundrik, and Sekotesh Tika, which was written by Naropa, and other texts of Kalachakra tradition. The Tantra text available at present in Cambridge University and other places is said to be the abridged version of Mool Tantra, and is in 1047 slokas composed by the first Kalki king, Yash, whom I identify with none other than Naropa. One of the name of Naropa was Yasobhadra also, if you see in Tenju. Sekote's sections of the 5th chapter in the Mool Tantra is not included in the currently abridged Tantra by King Yash. But Vimal Prabha mentioned that Sekotesh is part of Mool Tantra. So if you take those 174 verses of Sekotesh and you convert it from 32 syllable meter into 84 syllable meter, so there will be 67 additional slokas. So total number of verses in present Kalachakra would rise from 1047 to 1114 verses, very close to the number for Kalachakra deity 1125. And some sloks they might have composed, just as in devotion to the great Kalachakra. So 1125, the number for Kalachakra deity in Tantra is also very interesting. So if you see the relation between 1125, the number for Kalachakra deity and 384 number for Vishwamata, you multiply that, you get a number 4,32,000. Okay, and what is this? This is the number of years in the Kali Yuga. Okay, so in the Mahayuga is 43,20,000. Okay, cosmic Mahayuga, and 1/10 of that is Kali Yuga. So interestingly, like the two texts, Mool Tantra in 3,84,000 syllable and the Abridged Laghu Tantra in 1125 verses, when they combine, then that create Kali Yuga. And the very first line of the Kalachakra Tantra talks about, this is the yoga of Kalachakra is meant for liberating mankind during the time of Kali Yuga. Now let us come to the structure of, the 5 chapters are there. So this is the first Lok Dhatu Patal, it's about the outer world, and then the Adhyatm Patal. Adhyatm means spiritual also, but here it is in the sense of inner world. So this is the inner Kalachakra. Then the third is the initiation chapter, Abhishek Patal. This describes other Kalachakra. And then it is Sadhan Patal, the practice, 4th chapter. And here the 6-fold Kalachakra yoga is mentioned in the 4th chapter. So just recently, means 20 days back, I have sent the edited version of the 4th volume on 4th chapter to my publisher. Then the last chapter, the Gyan Patal, that describes the transmutation of body and cosmos as an alchemical process and attainment of Akshar Sukh, non-changing joy. Akshar means which can be destroyed, or you add it becomes indestructible. And Akshar also means these words. So it's a play of words too. So Akshar Sukh and stainless light, Vimal. Now again this is interesting. There is a difference between Amal and Vimal. Amal, like there is a stain you remove, that is Amal. Again you can stain it. But Vimal, it's like steel. If you remove the stain, then it won't stick to it again. So therefore, if you see the commentary, Vimal Prabha, and here in the text also, when there is talk to is about Vimal, they never use the term Amal, because after milk can become curd, curd cannot become milk. So that is the process, alchemical transmutation. Now we come to the basic philosophy in a nutshell. It's not so complex. I'm just showing it for the sake of understanding. The I already mentioned that the goal of this tantra in the very first verse, it is that yogang srikal chakre kalyug samye mukti hetu narana. So during this time of Kalyug, for liberation of all mankind. So it's not limited only to Buddhists. It's for everyone, for all the mankind. But now it's also resolved. It doesn't say liberation of all sentient beings. This has become a very popular, phrase for in the Dharma circuit. Okay, now we are playing for all sentient beings. It's saying no, not all sentient beings. It's only for Narana, only for mankind. Okay. Now, the verse 26, which we were discussing earlier, of the first chapter mentions the signs of Kali Yuga. This is interesting. So there they mention that when Siddhanta ends and current system of computation becomes popular, that is a sign of Kali Yuga. And what is Siddhant, treatise? It is a philosophical thinking. So earlier the astronomical treatises like Surya Siddhant and different by Vara Mihir and other people, these were being written. Those were the treatises. Current method of astronomy is based on empirical observation and algorithmic method. You have to just, you don't know the region. There is no cause connection. You have to just, this is how, if you do, yes, you find. Like, there is no reason to find why 1125 multiplied by 384 become 3,84,000. But there is some meaning, there is no causal connection. So that kind of, computation where there is no like Siddhant from here, this is derived, from there, this is derived. So it's not that. It's only correspondences, pattern recognition and connections. So in the Kalachakra calendar system itself follows such algorithmic method. But this is the first sign which the Tantra mentions that when Kali Yuga will come, so when there will be age of algorithm. And today we all know this is the age of algorithm, which is based on pattern recognition only. And the Tantra then also provides from the Tantra you can infer like the pollution. because the yoga of the Tantra, that starts from dhumadi, from smoke and so forth. So if you also find that there is lot of cities are choked with smoke, then you know these are also signs of Kali Yuga. Moreover, we have so many wars going on, and the tendency of consumption, greed. So these are also dharmic tendencies. So these are also part of those signs of Kali Yuga. So now this tantra, they like propagate, postulate a threefold reality. Generally in Buddhism, you have got this Kam Lok, Rup Lok, Arup Lok, but here is Bah, Deh and Upper. So, and it mentions in the third chapter, Yatha Bahye Tatha Dehi, just as outside, so is within body. Yatha Dehe Tatha Apre, as it is in body, so is in the other. But what is this other? So there has been a lot of criticism that why you are reducing other into a symbolic world. But it's on my reading of the whole text. So there are three realms. It's unlike Kamlok, Ruplok, Aruplok. One internal is they, outside is cosmos and all things, that is Ba. And then upper is nothing but there you have all this linguistics, communication, different kind of communication, like gestural, gestures, and then you have mandlas. So all these kind of communication, it may be phonetic or non-phonetic. So I term this is the symbolic universe. So that is the upper. So these three words, what they propound, and what the Tantra says that there is a common pattern of processes both in the outer world, inner world, and other world. This similitude, the principle of similarity, has been termed Evam. So you see everywhere this A and Vang, and A is the space, and Vang is the joy, and how to choose that one. Or A space is for actually Vishwamata, and Vang is for Kalachakra. Evam means similar. Evam has another meaning also, because there are a lot of meanings, and in this tantra they believe that there is no inherent meaning in any word. It's also contextual, it is changing, it is impermanent. So unlike the Bhalthari's Aspota doctrine, the meaning is inherent in the world. Here meaning is not inherent, therefore meanings will keep changing. So you have to understand the context. So it becomes very difficult. You have Bhut Sankhya, meanings changing and then coded. So it's such a confusing text for us. So the Tantra in the last chapter, 160th verse, it mentioned about this Evam principle. It says, Evam cha evam tatha evam klividham api bhave na appar kinchit asti. That means Evam and Evam. Similarly, Evam. This is threefold in all three realms, which I was talking about, the outside world, body, and the symbolic world. There is nothing beyond this. Now, how to decipher the similar processes which pervade the threefold existence of the physical universe, biological universe, and the symbolic universe? The Kalachakra Tantra deciphers the sequence, crumb. Crumb means sequence. Sequence is very important, because see, you have everything, but if you don't understand the sequence of the process, result will not come. So this Tantra talks about the sequence, and that is inherent. Naropa explains that in that term itself, Kalachakra. So Kra is for sequence, Cha is for trimming your chit, and La is lay, and Ka is for Karan. So when you dissolve all the causal connections, and you tame your mind, and through this sequence. So that is another meaning which has been propounded by Naropa in Sekote's Tika. So the Kalachakra Tantra mentions about this sequence is very important. And if you see in the cycle of time, everything decays and disintegrates. Physical world, even protons decay, universe dies, everything, sun will die. And in the biological world, no, those will not die, those will decay. In the biological world, everything will die. And in the symbolic world, everything degenerates. Its data also degenerates. Everything degenerates. Languages get corrupted in flow of time. So this degeneration is a ubiquitous process in flow of time. This is the Kalachakra, wheel of time, which consumes everything. It is like the second principle of entropy of thermodynamics. There is nothing in physical universe that does not decay. So now how does this degeneration occur? What is the process of occurring and how to overcome this degeneration? So we are interested more into that. So uh, uh, in Kalachakra, they assume time has two modes. One is computational, kalanatmak. Kalana is compute. And another is phase changing dissipational, kalatmak, kala phases. 16 kala when we talk about the phases of the moon. So time in this kalatmak phase, kalatmak mode, that causes dissipation of system. Now, nadi is a term both for measuring time, and nadi is also a term for your channel, which causes the dissipation of body and then death occurs. So, now what is the process by which this dissipation is caused in due course of time? The Kalachakra masters assume it to be, I need to get back to the previous one only. Here you can understand. So Kalachakra masters assume that you see breath, it is vibratory, oscillatory from right to left, from left to right. So they say every system you can divide into two halves, right half and left half. And now they have also gendered it. Right is male, left is female. Okay. And on male side, it is the Sanghar Krama. Sanghar means destruction sequence. Because sequence is important from your earth, water, fire, wind and space. On left side, because women, see or is the mother. So here it is a Srishti Krama. Okay, the generation sequence is from space up to earth. So any system you can divide into two. And these are the 5 mandalas on right, 5 mandalas on left. So these are the 10 mandalas. Now what happened? Everything like breath we are taking from right to left, left to right, it phase changes. So for some time, the breath is in the madhyama, middle. So Kalachakra said it's 56 and a quarter breath. Okay, so this is their formulation. Okay, during phase changes, some time will be accumulated at the madhyama. That causes, that is rin, death. And that causes decay, death, degeneration. So this is a very simple one-line formulation. And you can bifurcate any system. Howsoever, a pentagonal, octagonal, you can divide into two. So this is their basic principle. So everywhere, so in breath also, now we understand what happens, what is this phase change I was talking about. No, now, and within body, you see there is oscillation everywhere. We have cerebrospinal fluid oscillation also with a frequency of 10 Hz. So you have got the hormonal cycles within body. So everything, where galaxies are rotating or the stars, so nothing in the world is there which is not into some kind of vibrational mode. So in all three worlds, physical, biological and symbolic, dissipation takes place through similar process of breathing. This phase change is breathing. So if it is occurring everywhere, even within language it is occurring, between vowel and consonant, consonant and vowel. Therefore, when it's semi-vowel, higher over law, that becomes important for the practice. Because you will learn how madhyama had to be processed for transmutation. So it's semi-vowel which form the core of the mantra. So this is very simple formulation. So now breathing is phase change is breathing. So whatsoever be the system, wheresoever there is vibration in universe is breathing. And breathing is linked to consciousness. So that everything in the world is breathing and alive. And if every system is breathing with phase interchanges, then all these are conscious. By postulating that the whole universe is conscious and alive, the Kalachakra Tantra builds a grand pan-psychic philosophy of the universe. It poses Gyan as 6 Askandha also, aggregate here. Yeah, here we don't have only 5 aggregates, we have 6 Gyan. And it also poses Gyan as a 6 element. So Gyan, this, from where this consciousness comes, so that pervades across the universe in every realm. So up now you see we have 3 realms, but all these processes within the realm, it is mechanical and they have sequence sequential arrangements based on Pratit Samutpat. So within each realm, the circle, I think this circle is here. Yes, now you can see it. So we have 3 realms. Within each realm, they follow this sequence, mechanical process. You cannot escape that. Pratit Samutpat is ubiquitous. But inter-realm, there is this principle of similitude. This is not connected with the principle of Pratit Samutpat because there is no cause and effect relationship. So this is Evam. Okay. So now you can see. So by following the principle of Evam, now this Tantra has elevated Evam, at the highest principle. If you have to short circuit the principle of causality and death and old age. Now, I'll just shorten it. So, if one attends now, how this Evam will work? So, Evam interoperates among different realms at same time, is synchronous. But Pratit Samutpat operates in sequence of time, is diachrony. Evam principle is like non-causal quantum tunneling kind of effect. That if one attains mastery of ritual in Bandla, by similar principle, one can also master his body. And therefore, thereafter, one can master the outer world through this principle of similarity. If processed mercury can penetrate the metal, it is written in the Tantra, how you know this processed mercury is perfect for treatment. So say, if it can penetrate Vedhan, it can pierce metal, then it can also pierce body. It's similar. There is no causal connection. If it's piercing metal, why? So how that connect to it can pierce my body? But it says if it can pierce metal, it can also pierce body, so you can consume it. So this is that Evam the principle. So now see, if Rahu causes eclipses, today morning also it has happened. So if Rahu causes eclipses, outside in external world, the Tantra says during eclipses, automatically solar and lunar channels stop flowing and it's a Madhyama which start flowing. So today morning everyone will have their Madhyama flowing and we are enjoying the discussion on Kalachakra Tantra. But there is no connection. If Rahu is eclipsing solar and sun, eclipsing sun or moon outside, then why should it occur within our body? But it says that is by the Evam principle. So the reversal now, the reversal of flow of time is possible through Evam principle, not through Pratit Samutpat. When one masters the hydraulic reversal of the falling bodhicitta, he also learns the reversal of aging. When one rejuvenates mercury, which was killed in alchemical purification, this mercury gains the power of rejuvenating our human body too. The Tantra attempts to work out a universal algorithm of dissipation in flow of time for all 3 layers of reality. Once the algorithmic process is deciphered, a person can process the Madhyama where the dissipation accumulates during phase changing. Just as poison, when processed in a small amount, turns into medicine, just as microbes in a small amount, once inoculated through vaccination process, it can produce antibiotic property against the same microbe. On similar principle, if we process the Kal Nadi, the channel which causes death, and with that if we do piercing of our body, then that can produce anti-chronic property in our body, and we can attain the state of Vajdeha. And what is the state of Vajra body? It says you will always look young, 16-year young boy, and your skin won't wrinkle, hairs won't gray. So this is the conception of Vajradeha. So now this Kal Nadi itself grows in the body in sequence. And it's interesting, you have to see 2 to the power 2, 3 to the power 2, means all 2 square, 3 square, 4 square, 5 square. When it comes to 10 square, then you add some, it becomes 384. And there is no connection between 384 with Sumata and the squaring the mathematical numbers. But this is how they connect. So in this sequence only the Kal Nadi within body grows. So now the outer world, once we know how to, uh, achieve that state of Vajra Deha. So we can also transform the outer world into Sambala. And what is Sambala? Basically, Sambala is the land of peace and happiness. The Lokta, but then there are many Sambala. In one of my talks, I mentioned there is mathematical Sambala also. Within body, you have a different, in subtle anatomy, you have another Sambala, and geographical Sambala is also there. So there are many Sambalas. So the Lok Dhatu can be transformed into Buddha Kshetra. And the symbolic universe of the linguistics and these things, that is pervaded by primordial indestructible nad beyond vowels and consonants, and it is represented as hum. Hum. How is the syllable for nad? This is the path of a Sanskrit state of being just like sky. Just as sky does not obstruct movement, sky, nothing can cling to sky, and sky does not grasp anything. So our state become like that. So transmutation creates such a state that it can no longer be defiled. It becomes vimal, not amal. It's like steel. And therefore the term Vajra Deha, so steel is also a kind of Vajra only. So not only time flow is an algorithmic process where cosmic cycle follows a structured computational decay, but it's mathematical too. Kalki number 33, that is derived from mathematics. I'm not going to, we'll just discuss 2-3 lines on that. Dakini had number 169, which Mata, you know, is number 384. So now this Tantra says the language of reality is mathematical. So the calculation unique to Kalachakra calendar system is that 65 solar month is equal to 67 lunar months, synodic lunar months. So now you see what is happening, that this after every 32 and a half months you have another intercalary month, 6 Mas. So if you see the year with 6 months, they will have 13 months. That means 26 fortnight. So the Vajra Vega had 26 arms. So if you do the practice of Vajra Vega, which first comes and strikes the navel and inside the Chandali hair. So if you do the practice of Vajra Vega, if you do it in the year of intercalary month where there are 13 lunar months, then it will be more effective. And other years have only 12 months, so you have 24 fortnights. So Kalachakra had only 24 arms. Okay, so this is, now see, every 33rd month becomes, intercalary. So that 33rd becomes the Kalki in sequence, the last Kalki. So it's all mathematical. And this calculation of 65 solar month equal to 67 lunar month, realization spectrum of Sunyat Bimb, because in meditative practices you generate the empty forms. So even Rahu is and just a shadow, empty, nothing, no substance. Rainbow, no substance. See, so these are two spectrums, end of two spectrums. While Rahu can digest even sun and moon, even though desubstantiated, showing the power of emptiness. Rainbow is a radiant, empty form that brings joy. Just as outside, after cloud formation, there is lightning and then rain followed by rainbow formation. Similarly, in the inner world, after following the path of smoke, that 10-sign path, there is emergence of signs including lightning that finally leads to multicolored empty forms. Once a practitioner accomplishes Siddhi, his body becomes touchless like space and emits light of 5 colors, rainbow colors. He becomes live rainbow body, where the physical form becomes a radiant, indestructible, empty form beyond decay. This is what Guru Padmasambhav exemplifies. The beauty of this Tantra is that it does not reject empirical knowledge and technology. There is a long section on machines in the first chapter. Further, this Tantra talks about integrating Gyan and Vigyan, that is transcendental knowledge and empirical knowledge. The astronomy which is propounded is current type of astronomy based on observational data. This whole text is replete with tables based on observations. Thus, philosophy of Kalachakra stands shoulder to shoulder with contemporary views of empirical observation and pattern recognition. It further claims itself to know only partial truth. It does not monopolize truth. The monoclam of its philosophy, evam, has another meaning, and. So it knows a bit of truth, others know a bit of truth. So it never claims. Therefore, even when Kalki comes, it said he will unite 96 different races. So it doesn't monopolize truth like many other philosophy. This Tantra took rainbow as a model for society to evolve. Such a prosperous society thrive on peaceful coexistence of the different religions and different races. The Kalki in this Tantra prophesied to be establishing dharma would unite, just I discussed, all the whole world. Unity among diversity is the core essence of this philosophy. This can be seen as a paragon of globalization. Now, coming to I will just come to Bhutan section. So, but just would like to add something more because there is bit of confusion about higher empowerment in the Kalachakra. So, its aim, unlike other tantra, is promising enlightenment in a single moment. So it's like instant enlightenment, like instant noodle. It says whenever there is phase change, there is likely you can use that moment for enlightenment, that phase change moment. So even in winking, there is phase change going on. So even in a wink, you can get enlightened. So this is such a revolutionary philosophy. So now, what is enlightenment? Finally, even if one becomes enlightened, what happens then? Then there is self-arising joy. And generally what happens, we become happy, then sad, then again happy, then sad. So here all the phase changes going on. But it becomes indestructible Akshar Sukh kind of joy. You are always joyous. And joyous for no reason. You don't need anything to be joyous. It is self-arising. You don't need even internal meditation, nothing you need. Yeah, so that is the stage of Mahamudra. Mudra also means mudita, joy. Maha, great joy, which is self-arising. It doesn't require any internal or external aid for joy. So now much abuse had taken place in the name of Buddha in Tibetan Buddhism. Like Karma Mudra, we are aware that there have been abuses, but Karma Mudra in Kalachakra is stabilizing breath in the middle channel by blocking two, side channels, solar and lunar. Then generation of empty form in mind through sixfold yoga, that is the Dharma Mudra. This stabilizes mind. So you first stabilize breath, then stabilize mind. Mahamudra occurs when your vibratory joy is made non-vibratory. So bliss is stabilized and made unchanging. This induces transmutation and attainment of Sahaj, indestructible Akshar Sukh. One who attains such Vajra body is the Kalki. And Kalki, as per it is written in the chapter 2, Kalki is nothing but it's the right knowledge. Okay, Samyak Jnanam hi Kalki. Today, what is needed is to move beyond bifurcation of even Eastern and Western civilization. The universal peace can herald only by geo-alchemy, through piercing by a geo-body called Bhutan. So Bhutan is like a small dose of processed mercury, and it stands as a cusp of human civilization to play this role. The initiative of the royal government of Bhutan to hold Kalachakra public ceremony in coming November for global peace is an extraordinary event. It's being done in the land where both major figures of Kalachakra Tantra, Guru Padmasambhava and Naropa, are still the living forces in each and every nook and corner of the beautiful kingdom. Moreover, this coming festival is meant for global peace, transcending any political interests. His Royal Highness Folkduk Gyalpo brought epistemic shift in global planning with his promotion of the idea of gross national happiness. Now the current His Royal Highness, he had taken this initiative to bring peace as a universal common goal for mankind. Peace and happiness are the two markers of visionary Sambala. With the upcoming historic empowerment, Bhutan becomes the Bindu, a terrestrial Bindu, to initiate a global transformation by piercing the world. Development of Gelefu mindfulness city is a step forward on this visionary path. By hosting the coming Global Peace Prayer Festival, in which there will be Kalachakra empowerment, Bhutan offers the world a timeless blueprint. Katrin Che, Bhutan, and thank you very much for your precious time in listening to an ordinary explorer of this Tantra. Thank you very much. I need my book. ball pen.